Andrew Meyer being restrained and tased by the police at the University of Florida. You can actually watch it on Andrew's website, Andrew Meyer, MEYER.com. It's a long-winded question. It's a little on the long side. They are excellent, well-researched questions for John Kerry. And then the police drag him out, throw him to the floor, handcuff him, put him on his belly, and then they tase him. All the while, John Kerry's going, let me answer the question. I'll be happy to answer the question. I think I can answer the question.
And I think it's an important question.
I think it's an important question. It was an important question. Kerry did nothing to stop the police brutality. Other members of the audience got up and began to film it. Members of the audience screamed. First, they applauded when the police restrained the guy because he was a little long-winded. Then they screamed in horror at the brutality that was visited upon him. Look, this is America. It's a college campus. It's an open public forum. He wasn't preventing John Kerry from speaking. He wasn't preventing the listeners from hearing John Kerry. He was throwing some very provocative pro-Kerry questions at Senator Kerry when somebody there didn't like the questions and they ordered the police to restrain him.
They did use some foul language, some very questionable language.
Yeah, but nothing out of the ordinary for a college campus.
Look, fundamentally, I cannot believe that someone would be arrested, be tased, be attempted to be cuffed, be taken out when he did. The most egregious thing, I think, was pulling him away from the microphone while he was talking when John Kerry was trying to answer the question. John Kerry was more than willing to answer the question, to his credit, but he was not reacting to the chaos which was happening in the audience.
Look, Robert,
he could easily have said, cops, relax, hold off, let me answer his question.
This kid was dragged down like a pig to the slaughter with the 4 cops holding him down, throwing him to the ground, handcuffing him, putting him on his belly, and then tasing him. This is not East Germany, and it's not the Soviet Union. It's America. The Constitution applies in Florida. This shouldn't have happened.
And by the way, theandrewmeyer.com, www.theandrewmeyer.com, or I think the whole unedited thing is also on foxnews.com, because it's not open and shut. I will say he's being obnoxious. I will say that he's being loud. I will say that he's being theatrical. But I cannot back the way he was treated and ripped from the microphone.
And I will agree with you. He was loud, he was theatrical, he was provocative, but he didn't break any law of which I'm aware. Joe in St. Louis, Mo. Joe, welcome here.
You got it all wrong about this taser.
Oh, all right. Let's hear your view. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, it's not a deadly weapon, even though people have died as a result of it. I mean, you look at anything else law enforcement has done, whether it's been certain types of holds or anything like that, people have died from it.
Yeah, well, the courts have declared it a deadly weapon, meaning it can only be used in a limited amount of times. Okay. Meaning it can only be used when the target is presenting a severe threat, either to the police or the people around them.
Would you have rather seen the officers utilizing a taser or utilizing some type of strike to the body? You have 4 officers.
I would rather have seen them leave the guy alone and let him ask his question. Why use the force of the state, which is what the police represent, to silence someone? This is America.
That right there, I agree with you. I get tired of watching law enforcement being used as a pawn whenever you have a politician. As
if they were the private security force of the guy that's giving the speech. Exactly. George in New York. Welcome to Brian and the Judge, George.
You got a curious definition of complying, though. The guy, he wasn't tased for his question or for anything. He was tased because he wasn't complying.
True.
Complying
didn't comply
with
because
what?
They said his question was too long.
Why were the police on him? What did he do wrong? What crime did he commit?
He didn't leave when he was told to leave.
That's not a crime.
Well,
it's an open forum on public issues in America with one of the most controversial politicians. And the organizers of it don't want his question, so they're going to use the cops as a censoring device? Come on. Mike in San Jose, California. Mike, welcome to Brian and the Judge.
Tasers are no better or worse using baton or any other kind of tool to gain compliance on somebody.
Except that people can die from tasers, and 5 or 6 have.
That's debatable, whether the taser caused the death or not. That has not been proven.
Are you a police
However,
officer?
I'm in law enforcement, but I'm not a cop.
Okay.
However,
Under what circumstances do you think you can use a taser? When somebody disagrees with you? When somebody disobeys you? Or when someone is Let me finish. Or when someone's presenting a threat to you, Mike? It's got to be a threat. It can't be just disobedience.
No, it's not. It's not. You use a taser when you're trying to gain compliance on somebody you're arresting.
What are you arresting him for? What crime did this kid commit?
I believe he spent the night in jail. Although I don't know who updated his website. Because
the
and loaded the video.
Updated,
Oh, yeah.
Right, and the website also says that there's a rally in support of him somewhere on the University of Florida campus at noon Eastern today.
We just understand John Kerry will be out with a statement shortly.
Right, another too little, too late from John Kerry, where he tries to correct a mistake that he made on a college campus. Remember when he was at the University of Nebraska and said, "Thank God you're here, because if you were too stupid to be here, you'd be in Baghdad." Olin in Nebraska. Olin, welcome to Brian and the Judge. All right, you're a police officer, right, Olin?
Yes, sir.
What crime did this kid commit?
Disturbing the peace.
Oh, he wasn't disturbing the peace. It was a college forum on free speech. He asked profound questions, which Kerry wanted to answer.
You can see a gentleman in civilian clothes, who I believe is somebody from the college, signaling. And shortly thereafter, that's when the officers moved in, and to get him away from the microphone and start moving him away.
Do officers have the discretion not to move in if they think the guy is just exercising his free speech rights? Or are they just dummies who'll do whatever they're told to do, even if it's a violation of the Constitution?
The person who has the authority over that property is the person who's in charge of that property.
How about taking the mic from him or turning it off before you zap his body with 50,000 volts of electricity?
And the reason why he says don't tase me, because they warned him, I'm going to tase you if you don't stop. And now he's having a rally in a couple of hours on his own college campus. If he gets out, is he definitely getting out?
Well, I would think he'd get out. I mean, he shouldn't be given any bail. He's a college student. He lives there. He's not going to go anywhere. And I don't even know what the crime would be. I suppose the cops would charge him with resisting arrest.
No, I'll tell you exactly.
They always charge you with resisting arrest when they can't find something else to charge you with.
Wow, you are totally against his arrest. It's got 2 charges: resisting an arrest with violence and disrupting a school assembly.
He didn't disrupt the assembly. The cops did.
Wow, you want this kid's case. Jackie in North Carolina. Jackie, you're on Brian and the Judge.
Hi, Judge. Hi, Brian.
Hey, Jackie.
I just wanted to tell you that I attended a speech by George Bush, and when he called on one person, he was really obviously intended to disrupt the speech, and he started to rant, and people started to boo. Now, there was Secret Service all over the place. George Bush interrupted everyone and said, "Let him speak. Let him speak." And he listened to him for like 10 minutes. So
wow.
I rest my case.
Good answer. John Kerry didn't have the courage to do that. He didn't have the courage to say to the cops, "Let him speak." And from what you've described, the person at the George Bush speech was antagonistic to the president. This kid, Andrew Meyer, was throwing John Kerry softball questions that Kerry could hit out of the park. They were basically pro-Kerry questions.
I agree with you. The way you're describing it, let him speak, John Kerry never said that, but he says, "I will answer the question." He never said, "Let him alone." But Judge, to his defense, he was in a different planet or in the biosphere. He wasn't reacting to the chaos that he was viewing.
I mean, could John Kerry be personally a coward? Could he be afraid to have resolved this and prevented this chaos by uttering the same words that the president did? Why didn't John Kerry exercise some courage and defend the Constitution by saying to the cops, like George W. Bush did, "Let him speak"? Mr. Meyer didn't know his name. You finished the question. Those are 3 great questions. I'm going to answer them. Leave him alone, officer. That's what I would have done. That's what George Bush would have done. That's what John Kerry failed to do.
Informed sources get that way from listening to Brian and the Judge on Fox News Talk.